Today I'm checking out the Trak Racer TR120. It's the company's brand new aluminum profile rig aimed at the high-end sim racer with high-end needs. Aimed to compete directly against other mid to high-end aluminum profile offerings in the market, it certainly promises a lot. But does it deliver? Well, let's find out. Some say time is the most valuable thing in the world. If you agree and don't want to sit around for this entire video, feel free to skip around to wherever your heart desires. Anyways, first things first, the TR120 was very kindly provided to me by Trak Racer for content and review purposes. Regardless, all thoughts and opinions said here are 100% my own, and I can and will say whatever I want. Anyways, let's get started. Taking a look at the features and specs, there's quite a bit to talk about. The TR120 is constructed from 120 by 40mm thick aluminum extrusion beams, which all come with a black anodized finish. The base of the chassis also has a unique, slightly curvy design which adds to its look. Moreover, it comes with optional red striping for some added aesthetics. With over 30 optional Trak Racer accessories, there's also quite a bit of customization that can be done, but I'll be talking about those soon. Included with the TR120 is a seat slider, rubber feet to protect floors, cable ties, mounting screws, brackets, and fixtures, as well as the assembly toolkit. From my understanding, user manuals are only available online, which isn't ideal, but at least it's good for the environment. All put together, this rig is 58cm or just shy of 2 feet in width and 140cm or 4 foot 5 inches in length, putting it on the longer side of sim racing cockpits. It's also compatible with Trak Racer's brand new TR1, which is a wheel mounting system intended to future-proof your rig by allowing you to upgrade only the part of the wheelbase mount that you need. For example, if you're using a wheelbase with no side mounting like the MOZA Racing R16, you can use the TR1 with the wheel deck, and if you're using a direct drive wheel with side mounting, all you would need to do is change the bracket holding it. Trak Racer also has quite a selection when it comes to seats for your rig. Here they are. A red and black recline seat, that's the one I have, an aggressive looking GT seat, I also have that one, a full red recline seat, not too sure how I feel about this one, a sporty looking rally seat, and a full black recline seat. No matter which one you choose, they all retail for around the same price, which is about $400. As previously mentioned, over 30 plus accessories for the TR120 are available to purchase separately. This includes anything from a cup holder, keyboard and mouse tray, or RGB floor mat, to a full-blown quad monitor stand which hooks up directly onto the chassis. This is what I have for mine and I couldn't be more happy with it. Since it attaches directly onto the TR120, it clears up a ton of space which would otherwise be taken up by freestanding monitor stands. It also just looks beyond cool once everything is set up. Ultimately, since there are so many accessories available, I can only call out a few of the ones I found most notable. That being said, a link is in the video description if you're curious for what else is available. When you're purchasing high-end sim racing equipment, you're expecting to pay top dollar, and well, the TR120 is no exception. The cockpit retails for $730 without a seat. As previously mentioned, Trak Racer seat retails for $400. Add the two up and you're at well over $1,000. That's not including any accessories and going for the most basic option. So yeah, unfortunately not the most accessible and certainly geared only to a very niche market. Although it is important to keep in mind that it is competitively priced against other similar options from other manufacturers like SimLab or GT Omega. Let me start off by talking about what I like about the TR120, and to be fair, I'm having a hard time deciding where to begin. I'll start off with the packaging, which I didn't actually film because I was too excited to get everything up and running, so you'll just have to take my word for what I say. Every single part I received, and there were many, came individually wrapped and without a single scratch. Whilst this might not seem notable, considering the anodized finish of nearly every individual part, this was crucial for Trak Racer to get right, and they did. This is one of those things that if done right isn't noticed, but if gone wrong is a deal breaker, so kudos to Trak Racer on the packaging. As opposed to the GT seat, which I was fairly critical about in the past, Trak Racer's recline seat is a completely different story. Whilst it might not look as sporty or aggressive, it makes up for it in countless ways. First of all, its build quality. It's wrapped in a combination of suede and synthetic leather, which I thought was real leather up until 2 minutes ago when I looked up its specifics. It features colored matching stitching, and in my case has bits of red accents. Overall, it looks and feels like a high-end racing seat just based on its materials and build quality, and that's good because, well, it is. Its comfort is also very much a positive talking point. As opposed to the more track-focused bucket seats which look cool but are uncomfortable after a while, the more conservative shape of the recline seat felt a lot more open and livable for longer race sessions. That, paired with the recline seat injection molded thick foam padding, made it very comfortable for long stints. And above all, the cherry on top is that being a recline seat, get this right, it reclines. NANI? So whether you want to stargaze in your sim racing setup or sit at a perfect 90-degree angle, you can adjust your seating position in mere seconds. Granted, everything I just said is regarding the red and black recline seat. Your experience could differ substantially depending on which seat you end up choosing. In terms of the chassis itself, I like it a lot. Its sleek black anodizing looks fantastic, especially under light, and gives it a very nice high-end look and feel. This is one of those things that you don't appreciate until you see a similar cockpit with the exposed aluminum. Oh, great heavens! Paired with the optional but included red lining, you begin to notice the dividends these details pay in regards to the look of the TR120. Talking about the looks, I would be a fool not to mention the red anodized aluminum plates included with the TR1 mounting system, which look surreal. I mean, just look at the footage. In terms of compatibility, you name the wheels, the pedals, the shifters, the handbrakes, the button boxes, etc. The TR120 is pretty much universal in that regard. What I mean is that in 99% of cases, yes, all of that hardware created by all of those different manufacturers will be compatible. This is another huge benefit of aluminum profile cockpits in the sense that you can mount anything your heart desires with no big hassle. For example, I installed a full wind simulator onto my TR120 in a matter of minutes using the included T-slot nuts, whereas it would have been a far bigger hassle with a non-extrusion rig. In terms of adjustability, it's a similar story. The tilt, the length, the height, the distance, the whatever, it's adjustable to perfectly meet your needs, and ultimately this is where aluminum profile rigs shine far and above any non-extrusion cockpit. The only major drawback in terms of adjustability that I can think about is that it won't be able to suit all types of driving styles. As sim racing manufacturers begin to create cockpits that can be transformed from a GT all the way to a formula style seating position, this is something the TR120 cannot do. This, however, is something that Trak Racer is working on, as they'll be releasing the TRX, a cockpit developed alongside the Alpine Formula 1 team. I could fanboy about that for the rest of this video, but let's not get out of subject here. Right then, there's only one thing left to talk about, and that of course is the in-game performance. And being completely honest with y'all, there isn't even a tiny bit of flex anywhere. Whether I'm yanking out the handbrake, violently shifting gears, or racing with irresponsible levels of force feedback, I didn't notice a cockpit flex or struggle to hold anything together at any point in time. But I believe that instead of just telling you, showing it off is the best and most transparent way to go about doing so. So just take a look at these shots as I'm aggressively yanking on everything I have. Though I've said many good things about the TR120, it's important to note that not everything is perfect. So here are all of the things I did not like about the brand new Trak Racer TR120. First off, it doesn't come with any physical user manuals. Sure, it's good for the environment, but when you're paying top dollar, the least you could expect is a physical manual that you're able to keep nearby when assembling everything. When I was assembling the TR120, I needed to have my laptop nearby, make sure I wasn't running low on battery, make sure I didn't hit it with any aluminum profile parts, constantly walk back and forth to my laptop to read the manual, keep on putting my password every time it locked, etc, etc, etc. A physical user manual would solve all of those issues and be the most convenient solution, and especially when paying around the ballpark of $1,000 on a product, this is something that should be included. In terms of the recline seat, whilst I do really like it, there are some drawbacks. First, the suede material leaves marks very easily and could be quickly stained if you're not careful. Being made out of this material, after hours of constantly getting in and out, moving around and releasing sweat and heat onto it, it could potentially wear out and begin to look very used. The backside of the recline seat is also a bit bland, almost too generic, and could use a Trak Racer logo or at least something there to give it some personality. That is just my personal opinion though. Once sitting down, the seat slider is a bit hard to reach as it's a good distance away from the seat itself. Not a big deal, but a little bit annoying. As I've complained about before, I'm still not a fan of the approach Trak Racer takes when it comes to their accessories, especially not when charging top dollar for a sim racing cockpit. Many things such as a racing harness, a butt kicker mount, or caster wheels, which are often received with other cockpits at this price, are all sold separately. And when you're in many cases paying over $1,000 for a sim racing cockpit and still not able to mount something as common as a butt kicker onto it, it's definitely frustrating. As this is a blank anodized aluminum profile rig, it is very susceptible to scratches. Whether that be when putting it together or when adjusting everything onto the perfect position, expect to get a few scratches onto it every once in a while. Regarding the aluminum profile chassis, I found that a lot of the end caps were very loose and in many cases fell off very easily. Finally, as I previously mentioned, this is on the larger side of sim racing cockpits, which ultimately means it will take up a significant amount of space. It's also very heavy once put together, so make sure to keep that in mind if you're someone who constantly reorganizes things or are looking for a more portable solution. At the end of the day, the Trak Racer TR120 is not intended for your average consumer. It's made for sim racing enthusiasts and esport professionals who seriously need and are willing to pay for a hardcore sim racing cockpit that will give them the utmost performance and versatility. But unlike other less expensive aluminum profile offerings, the TR120 makes no sacrifices on appearance, quality, adjustability, or performance to minimize the cost. As I just mentioned, there are things Trak Racer and the TR120 could do better on. Moreover, the ability to switch driving positions is a big and hot new feature that the TR120 cannot do. That aside though, with the good looking aluminum profile chassis allowing for near endless adjustability and customizability, interchangeable seats, and the TR1 mounting system among other things, the TR120 could be seen as an end-all be-all sim racing solution. As always, thank you all for watching, stay safe, and have a fantastic rest of your day.